quick rundown of the Phil Jones Bass Buddy preamp. Now realize that this is my own preamp, so although I'm going to try and make this review as unbiased as possible, it's probably going to be a little bit biased. So why don't we start with the Bass Buddy. Alright, so when you pick one of these guys up, this is what it comes in. It's a very kooky case. Let's turn that around so it's readable. Inside the carrying case, you can see it's very nicely lined. Got an instruction manual right there. That's where the Bass Buddy goes itself. It sits right in there. All the cabling fits in these little channel places in there. You can see I've still got the batteries. I haven't had to use the batteries yet. The other thing with the Bass Buddy, you get every thinkable connector that you could possibly use with this unit included, as well as a great little polish cloth right there. Look at that. As for the connectors, you can see that obviously there's an RCA to stereo 8th, which is very handy. The other one that you get is an actual 8th to 8th extension cable and a gold 1/4 to 8th stereo plug, all included in the package. So I mean, you really can connect to anything you've got, or get connected to anything you've got and get up and running pretty quick. Now this is the unit itself. There we go. There's the front panel detail. I've still got EQ settings from a fretless I just recorded. Now the music that you're going to be hearing in the background of this is a little ditty that I did from the kitchen table here. Just really quick, I apologize for the fretless pitchiness, but whatever. I just wanted to get something recorded quick. It was all done with 2 basses. The first bass being my Music Man Bongo 5-string, and the fretless done on my Vantage fretless. Both basses went into the Bass Buddy. I adjusted the EQ here, and then from the Bass Buddy I took the XLR out, went into my M box. So post EQ straight to Pro Tools. I didn't do anything in Pro Tools other than add Maxim, which is kind of a compression maximizing thing when you bounce tracks. So there's no equalizing at all in Pro Tools on the session. It's just what you're hearing with the 3 separate basses is exactly what's coming out of the Bass Buddy. It's that clean, it's that clear. It's awesome. So onto the Buddy. Here we go. We've got a switch over here that is, of course, active or passive inputs. Here's our master volume. Then we get into the 5-band EQ, which is at, let's see if I can get that. Ooh, back up a little, maybe back in there. There we go. 50 Hertz, 160, 630, 2.5, and 12. Now some of you out there might be wondering, why is there 12K on bass? You know, bass is bass, why is there 12K? Well, I'll tell you what, boost a little bit of 12K if you've got the chance, and it adds to some amazing presence, especially when recording, but also playing. It just adds great presence to your tone. Yeah. Then moving right along, we've got compression. Now the cool thing with this compression and the compression on and off switch is you can see that it's minimum, and it works counterclockwise to get maximum compression, which you might think, well, that's a little backwards, but actually it's not, because with compression you're limiting, you're compressing the signal, lowering output, so that's why it works like that. At least I think so. That's why it works like that for me. Then we've got the 1/4 inch stereo headphone out and the on-off switch with that wicked awesome Phil Jones bass blue light. Now the Bass Buddy is primarily used as a headphone amp, but I'm telling you now, it is, as you can see here on my tabletop, it's a heck of a lot more than that. What I'm using it for in this application is to get rid of latency and just do some home recording, some desktop recording. Now, I mean, the track that you're listening to isn't going to go zooming up any Billboard charts, but at the same time, the quality of the sound that's coming out could easily be used on any single that would sell 1 million copies. What I'm doing here, again, like I said, I've got the bass coming in, and then I've got it going out of the DI out into my M box. Now, to cut down on latency, what I'm doing with my M box is I've got the mix all the way to playback. So there's none of me that's coming in here, coming out of the headphone out. But I've got the headphone out going into the ingenious stereo in on the back of the Bass Buddy, right there. So that's where my headphone output from the M box is going into the Bass Buddy. The reason I can do this is that anything that comes out of the Bass Buddy here, whether it's out of the XLR or just the 1/4 inch line out, which by the way, this is going to my tuner pedal. This is post EQ, but none of whatever you're putting into the stereo input, auxiliary input, none of this information comes out of here. This only comes out at the point of your headphones. So in this case, it's perfect. It's like my own little 2-channel mixer. I've got the mix coming from Pro Tools coming in here, and then as well I'm listening to myself, so I can dial in how much of me and how much of the mix I want to hear. Now, while we're still around the back here, you can see starting from left to right, we've got our power input, and then you'll see the compartment where this little unit can run off of batteries, 2 9-volt batteries. Then we've got the auxiliary input, line out, 2 line outs, 1/4 line out, and XLR line out. Now I'm just going to take my 1/4 inch line out and show you something here. You see the other 1/4 inch jack on the bottom there? Yes, that is correct. It is a speaker output, because not only is this little dude a headphone amp, it's also a 10-watt power amp. So as you can see, like, I mean, the thing is just as flexible as anything out there. About the only thing that it doesn't have, and I don't know where you'd cram it, but about the only thing it doesn't have is a USB port, which you can definitely live without. Anyways, hope you're enjoying the tune in the background, and if you get a chance, by all means, run out and try Bass Buddy. It's a bit of cash when you think of it just as a headphone practice amp, but when you see that this thing is much more than just a headphone practice amp. I mean, it's a recording preamp, not only for recording but live application, you name it. It's insanely flexible. It's a good little unit. Awesome. Well, that's about it. That's me, Pete from OVRDrvn. Thanks again, and remember, keep your stick on the ice.